r/Askreddit by Reddit and chill. What are some ways you can make extra money on the side that isn't a scam or illegal? I ghostwrite for blogs. It pays anywhere from $10.50 to $50 per piece when purchased depending on the length and needs of the customer. How would one go about getting these gigs? A kid in my area did a genius thing. He bought a can of glow-in-the-dark reflective paint, white, and a can of black. He also made the stencils for the number 0-9. He went door to door and told people if they didn't mind he was going to paint their house number on the curb for better visibility. And was doing it for no charge, but you can choose to tip if you want. Of course everyone tips the kid like $20. Because we all know what a pain it is to find a house in the dark. Takes 5 minutes per house. The whole street has numbers on curbs now. Brilliant kid. That kid. Is that legal where you live? If you play an instrument well, you might be able to play for a nursing home. They typically schedule multiple musicians every week. Glamorous and a path to fame it is not. However, the residents enjoy it and they usually only play 1 hour during lunch or dinner. Most make between $75 to $125. That's not bad for an hour of work. Shit, I should start doing that with my kazoo. The nursing home will love grandma got ran over by a reindeer. JK. I'm actually better at the guitar than the kazoo tbh. Go on Kijiji and search focus group or paid research study. If you already work full time, these things are a very low time commitment and require zero planning or thought. You just show up, give your opinion and leave. I have one on Tuesday. 75 minutes for a $100 Visa gift card. When I was unemployed, I got on one focus groups list and could do up to 2 focus groups per year. Usually less than an hour for a $50 to $100 check. Universities and colleges often advertise for participants for studies that they are doing. You can make easy money by spending an hour or so answering some questions. On a related note, you know when you get a receipt for purchase from a retailer/gas station grocery store, and it says complete this survey for a chance to win $X? Yeah. Do those surveys. I've won $1,000 in grocery store gift cards and $100 of free gas. What are the odds of actually winning though? I've done them more than a few times and don't win jack. I maintain websites and write newsletters for religious organizations and congregations. I bill 15 hours a month to 40 hours a month at $20 to $22 per hour. I lend my body to medical science. Students examine me for $20 to $50 per hour. I put in about 3 hours per week on average. I'm on call for highway snow plowing. I have plowed twice since the contract started in early November, but I get paid to be on call. If I stay home the whole week I still get $400. Sometimes I moonlight as a medium distance trucker for $180 a day. I get an average of 2 shifts per week. I pray it doesn't snow those days. So far so good. Average weekly income is just over $1,000 and I spend a lot of time at home. How did you get the snow plowing gig? Do you have to have a certain type of vehicle or license to do it? I once did dog poop removal to raise some money to help replace some tools and bikes I had stolen from my shed. Startup cost was low. Posted to Craigslist. Got a few clients. Cut and run after a few months when I made enough and decided it was time to hang it up. I used to go to the local outdoor gun range and collect the brass people left behind. Then take what I've collected to the scrapyard. Nowadays the only stuff there is spent .22s and steel. A lot more people are reloading rifle rounds. And pistol rounds probably get brought to the scrapyard by other people. Another thing I used to do is sell crabs to bait shops. I used to work on a lobster boat and at the dock there were always a shitload of crabs. I'd set a trap in the morning one day, empty it out and rebait it after work. Then bring what I had to people I know that fished for stuff that like live crabs. I'd sell a 5-gallon bucket full for $20. Which worked out well for both parties because I paid nothing to get the crabs. And they're getting 5x the bait for the same amount of money they'd spend at a bait shop. Freelance a major skill you have. Painting. Home design or improvement. Photography. Videography. Fashion style. gardening, pet care, etc. Sadly, nobody is interested in paying for sarcasm. You can sell blood. It doesn't even have to be yours. Creed? Is that you? Scrap metal. You can get anywhere from a few cents to a couple dollars a pound based on the type of stuff you try to sell. You have to find a good, reputable place too. Otherwise you get ripped off. But generally if you look around you could find somewhere. My dad did this almost all my life from maybe time I was around 9-10 up until he passed away a couple years ago. Having gone with him for some of those, I can tell you firsthand you can come in there with junk and leave with a good couple hundred. Plus taking it apart if need be can be a good way to eat up time. The good stuff last I was there were brass, aluminum, good for those cans of soda beer, cat food cans, and so on. Even motors out of old washers. Fridges. Dryers did fairly well. It was some rewarding labor when you're out of high school with no job like I was my first couple years and while attending trade school. I think the word you're looking is reputable, not refutable. People literally pay you to do their grocery shopping. Go on. Seriously, you need to be interested in whatever it is. For instance, if you like shopping you can buy things at thrift stores and sell on eBay, but you need to know a lot about what you're selling and buying. I do this. I can buy something for $1 and flip it for 100. The thing is I'll spend hours and hours digging through dirty thrift stores and even more time standing there researching a bunch of shit on my phone. It takes a lot of time to get a good eye for it. Also, returns suck. If you're a lady, there's a lot of authentic, safe, and anonymous sites where you can sell your used panties. If you're cool with that sort of thing, I guess. Am I seriously considering this right now? I repair iPhone screens, batteries etc and work on people's computers. I can make between $40 to $120 per hour on some jobs doing fairly easy jobs that older people or people that are just too busy don't want to do. I'm 17 so that money goes towards my post-secondary savings, and when my paycheck at my part-time job is lower than expected the side gig makes up for that. Edit. Okay, so this got a bit popular overnight lol. I'll try and respond to as many questions as possible. Links for quality parts. I hear that the market is saturated with shitty counterfeit screens batteries. If you live in a snowy area, advertise shoveling driveways. People rarely judge. And it's easy money if you get some people who consistently need it. We have very different definitions for easy money. Substitute crossing guard. Go to keep the tiny humans safe. I did this in elementary school and got extra credit. Many flowers and ornamental grasses are easily grown from seed. Even in a small backyard. You can sell potted seedlings to your neighbors. Or contact local florists and offer cut or dried flowers for their bouquets. Just make sure to do your research. In some places, this requires special permits and inspections. A lot of plant cultivars are also protected as patents. And you can get in legal trouble for selling seeds that belong to someone else. Amazon Flex, Deliveroo, Fiverr, For a Score, Freelancer, a bunch of WFH gig and freelancer sites. The best and most reliable method is a proper second job. The gig sites and flex working economy will wear you down and duck you over. Especially as a second job. Made the mistake of using Uber Eats as my main source of income about a year ago. Worst decision of my life. Not me but my friend. He bought fidget spinners in bulk back when they were really popular and sold them. Apparently made over $200 because of the high demand. I could swear someone else on Reddit tried that. But then the fad was over and he was sitting on fidget spinners he couldn't get rid of. Sell your underwear. As a pup tent. There are transcription services where you get paid to transcribe audio files or videos. I think it averages out to about $15 an hour depending on which company you go through. But the files are usually only a few minutes long. You misplaced a decimal there. It's closer to $1.50 an hour. Sell plasma. New patrons usually get a bonus for their first few times too. I recently hit up a newly built one closer to my home. I'm getting $70 for my next 5 visits. $35.70 an hour twice a week is not bad. I got a paint bucket of stripped copper wire that I collect, which I can usually fill up in a few months if I'm not looking too hard. Sell your hobbies. Computers? Fix 'em. Drawing? Commission. Love pets? Walk 'em. Monetize what you love to do. Mowing lawns and plowing snow is another way if a bunch of old guys live in your neighborhood. Babysitting too. But only if you're a girl. Apparently. Cause I guess guys can never be good with kids. I love to make wooden mechanical clocks. Do you think I could earn from it? Research studies. Not just ones at universities. I've never done one of those, but you can Google consumer research studies in your area and sign up with different firms that conduct them. I did one where I used 12 different body washes in a month, then gave feedback and got paid $325. One where I sat in a room with 8 other people for an hour and gave feedback about an app that was being developed for $200, etc. Teach English online to Chinese Koreans. Easy $20 an hour. TEFL certificate are cheap and take 6 months only. If you have a month you can get really good at the Roblox scripting language Lua. Some of the best games are in the 7 digits with profits, and decent games usually can get into the high 4 digits. Anybody who understands what you're talking about is already doing it. Make wooden signs with white girl phrases printed on them. Sell the signs. Live, laugh, love. $100. Make a friend who works at Michaels or Joann Fabrics for that sweet discount and share the profits with them. Pro tip. I can be that friend. I like to bake and people really enjoy my muffins. Especially blueberry. I'll take orders at work. No more than 10 dozen and usually make $100 in profit for under 3 hours of work. My co-worker transcribes YouTube audio during downtime at work and says he gets like $700 a month out of it. He works overnights though, so he has a lot of free time. Which service does he work for? There's always stuff to be found on r/beermoney. It's not going to be tremendous extra cash or anything, though. There's always money in the banana stand. Buy Lego sets. Leave them in their original packaging. Wait until they stop selling them in stores. And flip them on eBay Katawiki for profit. Takes some time to get your ROI. But it makes a hell of a lot more than the interest rates at banks and is safer than investing in crypto. Sure, yes. I mean, if you're not tempted to open and assemble them yourself. I'll tell you for $5. I'll tell them for $4.50. Be a model on Pornhub. I can pull in up to $400, $500 a month. I've heard they actually pay quite well for good quality videos. What do you need to do for that $400, $500? Also, I'm assuming you're female, right? Imagine a YouTube channel about your job and getting monetized. Create a small online business. My mom has recently begun to sell old books we don't read online through Amazon. How much time and energy did it take for her to get started? And how much work does it take her per week for how much $? I used to walk dogs all the time. I did it through Rover, and at the height I could make $500 a month with doghouse sitting and walks. You get paid to stay active and play with dogs. Absolute win. My wife's hobby, and I guess mine, since I'm involved, is refinishing old dresses credenzas desks. We buy them off Facebook Marketplace for $20.50. And then clean them. Fill in any deep scratches or gouges. Paint them. Poly them. And clean up the hardware with ketchup. Soap the rails. And then sell them for $300, $500. They sell like hotcakes and usually take us 2-3 days of occasional work, totaling maybe 3-4 hours. Here's one we bought for $35. Read it in 2 days. And sold for $300 earlier this week. Imgur.com link. And here's one that we bought for $20. Read it in 3 days. And sold for $400 over last weekend. Imgur.com link. Anyway, we've ended up with a fairly profitable business making $5 $7k per year. The only downside is the loss of my garage parking space due to the backlog. And the occasional run out to the country for a $20 dresser. feet pics. Write articles for Spisaplum. You have to be from the US or Canada. An editor will read your article and then decide to accept it or reject it. If it gets accepted, you get paid via PayPal and your article gets published. What's the catch? Your article has to be about a book or product that legitimately improved your life, like a dash cam. The payment is only $30 or so, but it is in Canadian funds. Ducking like and subscribe.